SFMF Live Wednesday night. Let's go. Bunch of cool stuff to talk about. I always say that. And you always come up with some great topics. So good evening, everyone. It is SFMF Live Wednesday night. Welcome. Got some coffee on hand. What are you drinking? Let's start with that. You know we always like to start with that. You know, I got coffee on one side and water on the other side. Might be a little bit of protein in there. But we're ready to go. Still coming down from the holidays. Only to get ready for more holidays coming up. Talked a little bit about prepping for the holidays last show, but I think this is even more intense because it's a longer period of time. 2 holidays with Christmas and New Year's mixed in there, but plenty of stuff to do, plenty of stuff to talk about. In fact, let me make myself a note here. All right, Sniper Freak is here. We're going to talk about how great these times are during the holidays, and also how it could be tough for some. So we definitely want to open up that discussion now and discuss it. We absolutely need to. Skyla, I'm drinking a peppermint mocha. That sounds delicious. It really does, and it's a perfect time of year. Hopefully it's cool where you're from, if not cold. Birdman, how we doing? How you doing, Birdman? Where you at right now? What phase of training are you in now? Remind us all. Jordan Hammond, good evening, SFMF, recruit reporting for duty for your channel. Good to see you, Hammond. JTB, all right, David Bryant. Diet Ginger Ale, how's that taste? Good to see everybody. Hello. Big Erm, where you been, Big Erm? Dropping my mandatory thumbs up. Mash it right now, everybody mash it. Tap it, tap it twice? Hit it, tell your friends we are live. It's Wednesday night. Last Sunday, we went on like a 10-day break. Not ideal and not by choice, but the holidays. But we're back. Louis, can you talk about Blue Yonder and the damage to AFES? I can't. I don't know anything about that. Louis, what happened with Blue Yonder? JTB 1046, Bravo Company, here to represent. Honor platoon, I must add. Gary Morden from Victoria, BC. Good to see you. Salty made it on time tonight. All right, you don't owe any burpees. I was on time too. Wasn't I late last week? Sunday? Maybe. If I was, it was my production's fault. Just kidding. Accountability. It's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. Mm-hmm. It is good to see y'all. And I'm glad to be back into a battle rhythm. Right? We had it going for so long, it gets disrupted. That's like that 5-day workout routine, I tell you, no days off. That's what I plan for, no days off. Because if something comes up and you just had a day off, then the very next day, something happens and you can't work out, you just missed 2 days of working out. So no days off. It's going to happen. There's always going to be a time. All right. Birdman says, Fort Gregg Adams, currently in schoolhouse for Amotech. All right. Just turned in my dress coat for my new Chevron. Got promoted Monday to PFC. Now I'm PFC Birdman, private first class. Congratulations. If you were here, we'd form a gauntlet and we'd initiate you into the PFC ranks. But congratulations. Awesome. Hope it went well. Hope you got pictures. I know family wasn't probably there to be there for that one, but take pictures, cherish those. Let me tell you right now, with your promotion warrant, make copies of it. Make copies of it and start an I Love Me book. That's right. You can call it that. That's what we call it. Start it now. You're going to want to later on when someone says, hey, let me see something. Where's your PFC warrant? So for 2 reasons. One, just to track your record, your entire career in one binder, and then secure that binder, put all the other secure stuff in there. But every single promotion, every letter of LOI, LOA, letter of accomplishment, anything you get, promotions, awards, ceremonies, community service, anything and everything, make a copy and put it in that book. And the other warrant, you got to frame that baby and put it up on your wall. PFC Birdman, congratulations. All right. From Detroit to all brothers, and man, that one disappeared really quick. Our class was told to keep a red folder with those papers. There you go. Good. I'm glad they're giving that advice out. I didn't do it till years into the Corps. Then I started looking, had to call my mom. Hey, do you see this piece of paper? It looks like this. Keep track of everything now. Make multiple copies. You never know. And it's an I Love Me book for one day when you're a sergeant major. You put them all up on the wall from PFC all the way to sergeant major or whatever route you're going to choose. Renegade, hi. Have you ever tried Cayman cider? I have not. Is that a real question? I like cider, apple cider, hot spiced. Randall Knapp, good evening, brother. Good to see you. Menachem is here. All right. We're missing a few, but the gang is here, right? Nothing like wallpaper. There you go. I'm telling you, you're gonna have your own office soon. You're gonna want to put my I Love Me stuff up, plaques when you leave a unit, all kinds of different memorabilia, right? And you'll take it from office to office as you PCS around the world. And then when you retire, you're gonna have to have an I Love Me room. We're gonna want to put all that stuff up. Mine's kind of spread out. Some of it is still in boxes, a little bit of a hoarder. I have a lot of stuff still boxed up from my time as a private all the way through my career. And it's hard to give up because there's every item you have has meaning, where you were, who you were with, what your family situation was at that time. So it's all memories. So keep it. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Keep it and cherish it. All right. Did a couple shorts this week. I told you I'm getting my battle rhythm back on. So the first one I did Monday, that one was, oh, do recruiters lie? And that was it comes up often, and you hear stories about my recruiter lied to me. He told me I was going to be this, and so I threw it out there as a short. Do they actually lie? I was never a recruiter, so I'm not talking from first-hand experience, but 2 Marines throughout my career, even my own daughter, who is a Marine, I'm talking to her recruiter, which that dude had it the easiest enlistee, and he had to be in his whole career. She was ready to go, and she was squared away. He had it easy. So do recruiters lie was a question, and one of John McJunkin's Young Marines or Poolees, someone asked that, did my recruiter lie to me when he told me this? And here's what I'll say. Do I think recruiters have lied to prospective prospects before? I do. It's just, that's a fact of life. I think they have, and not to make any excuses for them, but they're under a lot of pressure. But I think more so what happens more often is they just don't tell you everything. It's kind of on a need to know basis. And some of the comments were, I don't know if he lied to me or not, but I knew what I wanted. So who cares? All right. He gave me the possibility to earn the title Marine. One of my replies to one of them was kind of along the same lines. What happens with, I think, with recruiters, because I got to talk to 100 kids to get one to enlist. I think, and I was the same way, I knew nothing about the Marine Corps, what I was getting ready to get into. And he told me, and he showed me the movies, the dress blues, and the Marines are getting some in the field and riding on Amtraks and jumping off ships and helicopters, all the cool stuff, all the motor stuff. That's what you see. The films he didn't show me was the hurry up and wait, sitting on a tarmac for 24 hours in the rain, waiting for a helicopter. He didn't show me the miserable nights in Bridgeport, California, freezing my butt off. He didn't show me those miserable ones. And again, why would they? You have to know, a little common sense would tell you, it's not always going to be 100% motivation. So I just, again, I don't think they lie, unless he told you, you'll never be miserable. I mean, they don't tell you that. You'll never have to wait more than a couple hours. So I think they tell you what you need to know. The specific ones who and this has happened before, that yes, you sign up for this MOS. You guaranteed 0311. You get to boot camp, something happens and your MOS changes. I think that does happen, and it's iffy if the recruiter just lied to you. He had to get an 0311, but you wanted to be a supply guy, so he signed you up, told you you're getting supply, but really it's going to be an 0311 once you get to boot camp. I think that probably happens too. Again, because the recruiters are under a lot of pressure to get so many of each MOS, each gender shipped out at a certain date, right? They have a quota that they have to meet. So I don't think it would see, I think there's less stories of recruiters lying than there are recruiters not lying, the other way around. I don't think they lie as much as people like to say they do. Are there ones that do? Sure, there's every unit, every organization, every civilian organization has their 10% of the birds, you know, the doo-doo birds that just are bad people all the way around, whatever their job is. So yes, that does happen. Marines aren't perfect, close to, but we're not perfect. All right. Yes, Bridgeport, California. Bridgeport, Connecticut is the hood. No, yeah, Bridgeport, California. Cold weather training. Sniper Freak says, I'm still in contact with my recruiter since joining in 77. That is awesome. Wow. Very cool. I would love to be able to get a hold of my recruiter, and I tried. I searched hard. Not sure. I think he's probably a secret squirrel kind of guy that you just can't get a hold of him. He was an 0311, just a fucking warrior badass that I wanted to be just like him. But when I came back from boot camp, he was already gone, PCS'd somewhere. And I couldn't, Sergeant McBain, if anybody knows him. Never heard from him again. Completely hooked me up, told me exactly what it was. And he worked on me and my family. Well, he worked on my family for about 4 or 5 months before my parents signed. I was underage, so they had to sign. But it was good. I have no qualms with any of it. Gunner Sergeant, USMC, retired. Jarhead Coffee. Hi from Turkey. Birdman, I think when you are a Poolee or someone who may be interested, don't know the right questions to ask. Much like me. He didn't lie, but he didn't tell me much because I didn't know what to ask. Somebody else said that, Birdman, PFC. I think that's a fact too. I'm sure he opened it up many times. You got any questions? You got any questions? I didn't know what to ask. Again, I was oblivious to it all. I didn't know the difference between the services. I went into the offices and I looked at pamphlets and flyers, but I didn't know what to ask. So you don't know what you don't know. Now with technology, someone else put on one of the comments was, with today's technology and that at your fingertips, you can Google anything. I think recruits today have a better understanding of what to expect. And you could even Google, my recruiter, I signed for 0311, am I going to get it? There's ways and abilities and contacts that you can find out what happened. So I think that the amount of recruiters lied to me and screwed me, now I'm a 0311, I don't think that is very, very rare nowadays. Looking back, great question from the producer, Birdman. Looking back, what would you ask knowing what you know now? So very great question. And again, I've done a couple of shorts on that. If I just knew before I went to boot camp this, like not to bring my own running shoes. Granted, they were high top Reebok, soft leather. They're the worst shoes to run in. Little things like that. Birdman, what would you tell yourself now? Or what questions would you ask your recruiter now that you've just been through it? Almost joined the Navy twice. Gunny, wow, who saved you? Oh, haven't heard that too many times. Have you ever heard anyone say this? Yeah, I almost joined the Marine Corps, but what? Hear that a lot. Wow, guns. Who saved you? We got to hear that story. You almost joined the Navy. I didn't almost join anything else, but my dad, again, made me, before he signed for me, he made me talk to all the other recruiters. And I've told the story before. Once I went into there, they were like, get out of here, kid. take a flyer, tell your dad you came and saw us, but we know you're already brainwashed. You've been in and out of the Marine recruiter's office enough times, they got you. But I didn't almost join. Picking an MOS used to be a luxury. Recruits are getting spoiled. They go in with their MOS, David. Yes, they know 100% what their MOS is. Some, like the O3s, they don't know obviously if it's going to be 11, 31, 41, or 51, but they do go in, they know they're getting O3. And this is what I tell anyone now, any young men and women, boys and girls that are getting ready to join, don't leave for boot camp. Don't sign anything until you are getting exactly what you want. You might have to compromise a little bit, especially on the time you leave, and not coasts now, East Coast or West Coast, that still remains the same. East Coast, east of the Mississippi goes to Parris Island, west of the Mississippi goes to San Diego. I have heard people try to go to a different coast, but it had to do with their home of record, where they grew up and what have you. But again, everything's waiverable. But don't sign, don't compromise with something you don't want to, right? You want to be an aircraft mechanic, wait for that school seat, wait for that time, get a job while you're waiting for your ship date, still sign when you get exactly what you want. And then we could always resort back to, you join the Marine Corps to be a Marine, which is another short we'll talk about in a minute. Every Marine a rifleman. Birdman, I would ask, why would anyone put themselves through all that? Just kidding. To be honest, I'm not sure. Knowing what I know now, I still would have joined. So again, Menachem, so I think I've heard your full story. What was your motivation for joining the Marine Corps in the first place? Okay, yeah, let me get back to that. That's a great question. But I'm with you, Birdman. Again, let's pretend my recruiter lied 8 times to me. It wouldn't have mattered. I know that the recruiters have the job of convincing young men and women that you can do it, right? And this is the path you don't see as a young teenager. I knew everything, just like every teenager now knows everything and what's best for him or her. That's not true at all. So those recruiters are trying to just give you options and open up your mind and horizon of what the possibilities are. I don't think my recruiter ever talked about retirement, but good God, if I had some questions about my retirement, and that's something in the back of my mind, I am thinking 20 years or 30 years down the road, something I would like to know, and it would definitely influence my decision. Military retirement is great, but who knows? Because you don't think to ask those questions. All right, Menachem asked, what made me join the Marine Corps, since I didn't know anything about any of them. So I wasn't a bad kid in high school. Played football. I didn't have a great influence in my brothers and sisters. Great, loving family, no issues whatsoever, but they didn't do so well in high school, and I'm the youngest. So 100% support on anything and everything I did. I was even a Boy Scout for a while, and they would always come. I was a Cub Scout. They would come, they would go to my football games, everything, huge support. But college wasn't on my horizon. It just wasn't talked about in my house. We were working, parents working 2 jobs, working all the time. I was that kid that walked to and from school uphill both ways, no shoes. Wasn't that bad, but I mean, we were your typical blue collar family, hardworking family, and again, very loving family. So I had a good life, a good childhood, but I didn't have a lot of rules. Kind of got away with a lot because my brothers and sister did. Like I'm talking, my sister used to sign my letters, please excuse my notes to school, please excuse them for missing the last 3 days, stuff like that. So I wasn't bad in school, I didn't get in trouble, but I just didn't go all the time. I had to go to play football. So I made sure that I did the bare minimum. I passed all my classes. Not great. I don't know my GPA.
Say you didn't apply yourself.
I didn't apply. Yes, the teachers would say that. He has potential, but he just doesn't apply himself. And that's a fact. And I really didn't, because I didn't think school was hard. I just didn't like to be there so much. Why you gotta be there every day, Monday through Friday, for so long? So I had some friends, and we'd go out and screw around, do some teenage boy stuff, probably some that I shouldn't be doing. So how that led me to the Marine Corps was I had no direction, none whatsoever. Again, college wasn't even on my horizon. I didn't even know what a service academy was. ROTC, my school did not have it, so I didn't know. I went to 2 different high schools, freshman and sophomore, then junior and senior. So changing high schools is tough anyway. So one day, out of nowhere, some kids are all pointing at me, and they were talking to a guy in uniform, in the blue dress uniform. They're like, there he is right there he is. Not like, go get him, but that's a guy you need to talk to. They were telling the recruiter, he's the kind of guy you need to talk to. So he did. He came over. You ever think about the Marines? He was all motivated, dressed blue, sharp, chiseled chin, just looked like a URAH. And I didn't know anything about it. So I entertained it for a little bit, and he said, well, if you want to, we can have a meeting. I'll get you out of class. Legitimately, you don't have to cut. So we did, and we talked about it, and he told me the Marines travel the world and opportunities, and I don't remember what the conversation was, but it got me out of class. So over time, weeks passed by, the principal, hey, son, I heard you're talking to the Marine recruiter. I was like, oh, yes, sir. And then not a buddy, but a teacher's son, was a senior with me. And we're in the same English class. She was an English teacher. She didn't like me very much because I didn't apply myself. He enlisted. Her son enlisted already. So she was trying to get me to enlist with him to go on the buddy program to kind of keep an eye on her son. And I thought about it, I entertained it a little bit, but not much. Then he started wearing USMC shirts. He got a high and tight haircut. He was motivated. Wasn't a great athlete, not that I remember, but I remember he started running. He was working out. The Marine recruiter would come get him. Sergeant McBain would come pick him up, and they go PT, come back all sweaty. And I was like, I like doing that kind of stuff. So the recruiter came again. Come down to the recruiter office with me, take the ASVAB, and we'll just see. And he was good, man. This recruiter was good. Sergeant McBain. He brought me and my buddy down, and while my buddy was filling out paperwork and stuff, he just said, hang out right here for a minute. I'll be with you. And of course, the TV was on and had old VHS tapes of just motivating stuff from a Marine Corps ball celebration, the dress blues and 8th and I, the silent drill team, and then getting some in the field, just all the moto stuff you can imagine. That's when I started to think, And then this other Marine walks in blue dress uniform, gunnery sergeant. I had no idea at the time. He's like, get up, kid. What are you doing in here? Get on that pull-up bar. And of course, made me do some pull-ups. I don't remember how many did. He said, oh, you think you can be a Marine? I don't think you can do it. I don't think you do it. Again, he knew what he was doing too. Totally challenged me. So that, over the course of months, I finally brought it up to my parents. They're like, no way in hell. Went to a Poolee function, was like a softball game. There's a bunch of people out there playing softball, food, it was a great time. Another Poolee function, we'd go march, drill, which I didn't know anything about that at the time either. No JROTC. And he kept working on me. So when I finally broke it down to my dad, I said, Pops, I think I really am. I'm gonna go in the buddy program with him. So I got someone with me. Passing all my classes, all I gotta do is graduate. And I'm going to boot camp in August. I graduated in June, went in August. That was the plan. They worked and worked and worked, and that's when my dad said, nope, I'm not signing anything until you go visit Army, Navy, and Air Force. And I did. Said, absolutely, Dad, will do. And that's when I told that story before, that the offices were in order. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines was the last one at the end of the hall. So every time I went to the Marine office with the recruiters or without them, I'd pass by all the office, and I would look in and look at the pictures on the wall and look at the guy, wave to the Air Force guy. And then that day that I did, I stopped by each one after the other. I'm telling you verbatim, I quote them and say, look, kid, grab a flyer, tell your dad you came and visited the Air Force, and it's not for you. because it's not. The Marines got you. You're already warped. A wrap. So that's what got me in. I didn't start hanging out with my buddy program guy anymore, but he had bumper stickers on his car. He was just Mr. Moto. Started to get a little intimidated, like, man, this dude's gonna outshine me. We're gonna be in boot camp together. So I started learning there's gonna be 89 of you and you're gonna be competing and you wanna be number one, the guy in squad leaders. So I did start working out even harder. I was playing football at the time, so I was in football shape, but I started running more, started doing pull-ups. That was the big thing, still is today, pull-ups. So I've worked out just a little bit harder. The physical toughness is what I was worried about. I didn't even think about the mental toughness. They're gonna yell at you, but they can't beat you, they can't kill you. They're gonna yell. And I don't remember even seeing videos. Now there's thousands of videos you could watch. So that did catch me off guard. Didn't understand why they're so mad at me. All I was trying to do was get by like everyone else. So the mental toughness, I had to learn right away. Physical fitness, again, I was decent. I never fell out of a run. I was, had a high PFT. But the mental toughness, my parents never yelled at me because I never did anything wrong. So that was the part I had to get used to the quickest. But no idea that I even had an uncle in the Army until my first deployment. 3 tours of Vietnam back to back, had some PTSD, so it's something my dad never brought up, but that's what my dad was worried about. Going to combat, messing my head up. But once he did it, once he signed, both my parents finally signed, they all came to graduation, super proud. It was a good moment. I think they know that they did make the right decision to not keep me from it. And that's it, and that's my story. That's how I became one of the world's finest. All right. John McJunkin, attention on deck. The gunny is in for our sick baby Marine.
Mattis.
McCry baby. You kind of sound like Mattis. You hear him crying over there? McCry baby. Don't sound like him. Persian magical spells. Sir, your talk is the best, huh?
What was your motivation for joining? Just that? Just because your friend did?
So the producer's asking me, so what was my motivation? Just because my friend and the recruiter kept on me, the recruiter was good. So I think, again, at the end of the day, because he would ask me, that recruiter, so if you don't do this, what are you going to do? And he said it like that, like, you're an idiot. What are you going to do? You have no plan. What are you going to do? My parents were in the food business. The whole family worked in the food business. I love to eat, but I didn't like that lifestyle. One, probably because since I was the youngest, I didn't get to do the cool stuff and make steaks and lobster and cut meat on the slicer and sandwiches. I didn't get to do the cool stuff because the youngest guys got to do the cleanup. So I was cleaning the grill with that big brick and sweaty and waiting tables, bussing tables. So I did know I didn't want to do that. I worked with them my whole life. Even halfway through high school, at lunch, I'd have to run to the deli that they were working at to bus tables during my lunch break. Of course, I'd get a big old lunch. I'd have a big grocery sack full of subs and ate well, but I didn't like the work, right? And still to this day, still don't like to cook. So I knew that wasn't for me. And then coming closer to graduation, I was realizing, man, what am I going to do? I wanted to get out of this town I was in. The second high school I went to wasn't my hometown. It was 8 hours from where I grew up. It was already over being from that hometown, California. So I wasn't tied to anything. I knew my parents were going to move around. They already talked about moving to the East Coast because they're in the food business. And a lot of older people go to Florida to retire. So they eat out all the time. So that worked out well for them. But I just didn't want to be in that community. So motivation, direction. I needed direction. I needed rules. I needed someone to tell me what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. Who knows where I'd be right now, if not. So yes, the Marine Corps saved me. And Another part of the story I'm not too proud of is I had a lot of tickets, driving tickets. I started driving early and a little reckless, got a lot of tickets, never took care of them because, again, I didn't have any rules. Now they'll just take care of themselves. Enlisting wasn't as easy as I signed up and I'm in. So the crew had to do a lot of work to talk to some judges to say, look, sir, please, if you let this kid go, he's gonna ship out to the Marine Corps tomorrow. He'll be a changed man. Please give him that opportunity. So that was a great motivator too, as well. And again, it worked. All right. Thanks, Menachem, for asking that question, brother. That was great. All right. Are we talking to Jordan? Did your dad serve in the military? Bryce Wilborg, present. Late, no excuses. Burpees, you know the deal, Bryce. Well, I heard you got that. My
Max, lay down.
sound check is good. John Hayward is new. Welcome, John Hayward. Welcome aboard. Like and subscribe. Double tap it right now. Hang out for a while. See if this is something for you. We are a community of like-minded warriors. That's what we just went over, what motivated me to join the Marine Corps. And that's where I'd like to hear every single story, because everyone has a different story. And the best part is, once you get to boot camp, I always use 89. I don't know why. I remember, I think probably my last platoon as a drill instructor was 89. 89 cadets, recruits. But you're in one open squad bay with bunk beds as far as you can see, with 80 other young men about your same age from 80 different walks of life, different backgrounds, different parents, different siblings, different, completely different lifestyle. That was by far the coolest part, to learn from so many different people. And that's just, and I thought about it as a drone instructor, not as a recruit, and that's just half of the United States, because again, east of the Mississippi, west of the Mississippi, so it gets even bigger once you get out into the fleet Marine Force. Now you're with Marines from all over the country. So it's very cool, the camaraderie. You build that camaraderie and learn about places like Nebraska, Arizona, places that you've never been, which is pretty awesome. All right, Alex Hall, sounds like heaven. Absolutely was. 3 months of hell to get to heaven. So yes, 100% worth it. Fear is a motivational tool, 100%. And you can be the biggest, baddest, toughest kid. You get to boot camp, it's a different story. But you learn quickly. Some learn slower than others. Like I was a little hard-headed on some stuff. Sob story here, unable to type due to hangnail. Sounds like something that you would complain about. Says he may have to seek treatment from his doctor for a hangnail. You can still do crunches, leg lifts, flutter kicks. Has nothing to do with your fingernails. Nice try. That's what makes America different. Different walks of life. Jarhead Jason, 100%. Absolutely. There's one color in the Marine Corps, and that's green. Lay Cookie. Lay Cookie. If you had not joined, you wouldn't have had to deal with it. Yeah. And then you meet people like Mike Laycook, who is the reason I'm bald today. I'm sure of it. Stressed me the hell out. Awesome. That's why, again, no regrets whatsoever. Inform, spent an extra month in boot, broke my right foot during the crucible. Wow. So hats off to you, Inform. And man, I don't know how.
Is it inform or infirm?
Yeah, Inform. Inform. Good on you. Inform. I'm telling you, and as a recruit, you don't even think twice about it. You just know that you don't want to be dropped for anything. You don't want to spend an extra day in boot camp. You don't want to spend any extra hours in boot camp. So a whole month, again, good on you for keep getting after it. That's amazing. I told you I had a recruit that was in boot camp 11 months in like 2 weeks. He's been on here before. He broke one leg, got put in, or no, he showed up as a fat body. So, of course, they put him in PCP, pork chop platoon, physical conditioning platoon. Spent like 30 days there, lost the weight. They sent him to a training company, broke his left leg, ankle, sent him to MRP, medical rehab platoon, spent 30 days there recovering, sent him to another training company, broke his right leg, ankle. Same thing, recovery. That one took a little longer. So by the time I got him, he was dropped to me. He was 100%. They gave him to me. And he had already 10 and a half months on recruit training, and he was still getting after it. Not a, you would figure that long. I made him the guide right away. I said, shoot, you're going to be the guide. You've been down here that long? He wasn't a good guide, but he was a great admin recruit because he knew the SOP. He knew the schedule. He had to do all the count cards and nailed it. And it was my first cycle as a senior drill instructor. So he was pretty much my fifth hat. He knew more than the drill instructors did. So it was a blessing in disguise, but he toughed it out. Looking at for him, MRP was horrible. I can't even imagine. Being in a non-training company in recruit training, you still got to put up with all the BS. And Form says, I wasn't even fully healed when I got out of MRP. Forced myself to take the PFT and never look back. Awesome. Congratulations. That's a great, great story. And how about your family, right? You keep putting off graduation date. You got a new graduation date. You got a new graduation date. And then just the things expected of you. Man, I bet, Inform, I bet. So as a drill instructor, that's what I was saying. So one, it's just hard to join another platoon, wherever they are in training, because recruits are brutal, right? You're an outsider coming in from somewhere else that you've been doing something, you got all these stories, you know everything about recruit training. Who are you to come into our company, our platoon, and try to run stuff around here? The drill instructors aren't the nicest to pickups either. That's what they're called, pickups. Oh, great, we got another pickup. Why was he dropped? Normally fat bodies or injuries, and now is the injury going to come back? So it's not great receiving a pickup as well. But keep pushing. Yes, they're getting informed. Says, yes, my folks were stationed in Germany at the time. No one came to see me at graduation because they didn't know when your graduation was. That's too bad, but that's awesome. God bless you, Travis. You have a wonderful week as well. Semper Fi, brother. You get heavily scrutinized as in a new platoon. Yeah, 100%. I'm telling you, because it's not the greatest thing, especially around third phase when you're getting ready for a final uniform, the battalion commander's inspection, final drill, final PFT, all those finals that really set your platoon apart. All the platoons compete in everything, and everything you do is a competition against the other platoon. So if you get a couple pickups, where are they? Do they know drill? Do they know what they're doing? Do they know what the heck is going on? Pull up, test, first minute. Yeah. Some Marines are. We judge you off your physical fitness, and that never goes away. Right? You see a Marine, you wonder how many pull-ups he can do, or she. So yes, any pickup we got, yeah, funny you say that. And for him, as soon as we get a pickup, get on the bar. After you drop your sea bag, I need to see what you can do. Semper Fidelis, all you jarheads, devil dog prepper, Semper Fi, yes, Manak, you hear Bad Dog Mattis back there? He's a baby. Doesn't like when I don't pay attention to him. That's how I get when the producer doesn't pay attention to me. I start whining. On Sundays, I would go to my old platoon and kick it for a bit. That's cool. And for him, you got to do that. I don't know where my pickups would go. Michael's Drones, RCs, and Knives. Good evening. Good evening, brother. Good to see you. Good evening to the production team back there. She says, "Ara." Michael's Drones. Semper Fi. What breed is Bad Dog? Bad? He's a bad breed? No, he's awesome. He's an awesome dog, just not trained yet. He's a Doberman Pinscher. English, right? We think he's a little bit different. He's got a big, huge head. I mean, Doberman. Or what?
Europeans.
Oh, European. European Doberman. Beautiful. It's a beautiful dog. Ears are done. Our daughter is the one who picked him up from the pound. Ears are done, tail's cropped. He's got it all except some brains up there. He's still a puppy. Does puppy stuff.
Can't use that excuse for it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that for a year now. So maybe he'll grow up. The Europeans is telling you. Inform, get a dog. Maybe you should try and get a small little white fluffy dog that your wife will like first, and then get a dog, a real dog. Who's going Green Beret? David Bryant. I'm not even going to read that. You're going to get me in trouble. A good tip. Oh, no. Sounds like Mad Dog is a victim of his environment. That's because I'm training him. How you going to let a kid train a kid? Tao Chen, my deck. Have you done judo or jiu-jitsu? A little bit, not enough. Get frustrated. I saw the Warriors. Dobermans are the most intelligent dog. They let someone in but won't let them leave. You need a couple, so it's not alone. Maybe that's it. Just need another one. Maybe we should get another one. We'll have two. We have another Doberman who is an amazing dog.
She tricked us.
She tricked us. We thought they were all as smart as her. She is by far the best dog we've ever owned. A Doberman as well. It's maybe a little different because she's a little shorter than your average. We think she's mixed with Black Lab, something, but very, very intelligent. We fell in love with Dobermans after we got her, which she was a rescue as well. She's amazing. Form says, I coach my son's basketball team like they're a bunch of recruits, breaking everything down Barney style. Parents love it. They're funny in form. I did that once. I did it to my kids all growing up in soccer. Had a little incident one time because I was doing that, so be careful. I don't know how old they are, but these guys were, how old were they? In Okinawa, we were doing monkey drills. That's what I knew. I was a football player and a Marine, so I was having these kids do where you jump over, roll, they jump and they roll and they jump. I think it's called a monkey drill. And we were killing it, right? They look good. They're going in a straight line because it constantly moves. You know what drill I'm talking about? You in the push-up position, you hop over one, then he hops over, then he hops in, and they continue. It's a mixed little boys and girls team. One kid jumped really high. When he landed wrong on his arm, snapped his elbow, broke. Everyone kind of freaked out. I don't know why. I called the, no, that's not what happened. Anyway, no, it was not. Once they came, and the medics came, Navy corpsmen came, and they're like, he's like, what kind of drill were you doing? This is soccer. You don't even use your arms. What kind of drills were you doing? I was like, it's my first time being a soccer coach, and we were doing some monkey drills. So I recommend against that, especially with 5-year-olds. So be careful. Standards and discipline carry over to everything, 100%. That's what I figured. I know how to organize a platoon, so why can't I organize a soccer team of 5-year-olds? It was fun, learned a lot. Is Sergeant Cece in the house? Where is Sergeant Cece? Menachem, good question. Where is USMC Cece? Somebody better text her right now. All motivates. Sergeant Major, both of your girls in the Marine Corps? Not yet. Not yet. One is the middle one. You met her. She was on the show. Sergeant Cece. She just got, if you weren't here Sunday, she just finished the MACE. She went to the MACE and finished her black belt instructor course for McMap. She's a badass. She just finished that. And she's getting ready to go to sergeant's school now. So she's doing it. She's making it happen. Our other daughter, who you also met on here on a show a couple months ago, she was applying for the NROTC scholarship, a couple of service academies. Well, she did receive the NROTC scholarship Marine option. So it's huge accomplishment. Right off the bat, she's still applying to some service academies. We talked about that trip that we took, but we'll see. She's motivated. She's ready. Right? That's what I'm saying. Michael's drones. Motivation, pure motivation. All right. So, every Marine a rifleman. That was a short I did Monday, I think. Gary Morton. What's up, my brother? Congratulations. That's for Sergeant Cece and for young Cece. All right. Thank you, brother. That means a lot. And I'm telling you, it's been a kind of an emotional thing for us as well. I didn't do any of that. College, JRTC, nothing. And she's been busting her butt, writing essays. All these applications take tons of essays, tons of time. She's doing that on top of her homework at school, still maintaining a 3.6 or something, a couple AP classes. So she's still busting her butt at school. And then since school started in August, she's been writing the essays and applying. She's got a meeting. They have to have a congressman letter. She has to be interviewed to get. I'm telling you, it's been pretty hectic, but she's killing it. So thank you, Gary Morton. I'll make sure she knows that. Appreciate that. How does the Marine choose instructors to train officer candidates? Says, I didn't catch the name McJunkin, but that's from one of McJunkin's warriors. How do they choose instructors? Who trains the officers? Great question. That is an awesome question. Drill instructors, enlisted drill instructors train the enlisted, right? Boot camp, that's your DI. To train the officers, they get drill instructors who aren't currently active drill instructors. They had been a drill instructor at some point in their career. Still early, they're usually staff sergeants and gunnery sergeants. They send them to OCS to train the officers. So enlisted trains everybody. Drill instructors train everybody. How they select them? They have to be a prior service drill instructor. And I think primarily I don't think it's a geographic location. I think it depends on the needs of the Corps. So if you're available, you're a prior drill instructor, they're looking for they call them sergeant instructors in OCS, and you happen to fit the bill, you meet all the requirements, your current location can give you up. You can be gone for a couple of years. I think a lot of goes into it. You probably have to interview for it, but that's a requirement. You have to have already been a drill instructor. All right. Tyler, I think this is Tyler. 777, what do I think about Colonel Scheller? Support him 100%. Accountability. If you haven't read his book, you need to. I just gave it to someone who needs to read it. Crisis in Command. Great book. I support him 100%. I wonder if he could have done it differently and still got, because now he's not in. Now he can't affect change from the inside. So that's the only thing. Reading his book, I support him 100%. People need to be held accountable. And complacency and accountability is my last note on here, which I can talk about it all day. But I 100% support him. Since every Marine is a rifleman, what do you think about rifle qual twice a year? Base and FSSG only see a weapon once a year. So, David Bryant, great point. Every Marine is a rifleman. A lot of great comments too on that post, and I may have done one before because I remember some old comments were like, every Marine's not a rifleman. The office pogues, they don't even touch the rifle for a year. So I specifically said in this one, no, not every Marine is an infantryman, but yes, every Marine is qualified with a rifle or pistol, and that's for staff NCOs and officers. So the point being, and it dates back to day one, yes, every Marine has the ability right now to pick up a rifle and fight because they have qualified every year. Now, I know there's some stipulations and some MOSs and duty stations can go every other year. I think recruiters might even be one of them because of the demand of the job or obviously deployments. But every year, I believe every single Marine should have to qualify with the rifle, no matter what. Because of that title, every Marine a rifleman. Does it mean every Marine is an expert? Nope, but it means that every Marine can hit the target from 2, 3, and 500. And now with the moving targets and I can't think of what it's called right now, the night training using the RCO, right? And not just iron sights anymore. So I know for a fact that any Marine I talk to right now is, unless you meet that one who happened to go unqualified, and has to refire, they're out there, very few, because you cannot stay in the Marine Corps if you cannot qualify with the rifle, and then later on with the pistol. And somebody even put on there that he saw in boot camp a kid did not qualify, but he still graduated. I hope that's not true. And someone asked me, did I ever see somebody get dropped because of not qualifying on the range? So as a drill instructor, what you see is this kid tried to qualify, he didn't. He tries again that very same day. If he doesn't do it, then he tries the next day. So a minimum of 3 extra tries to qualify. Then if he doesn't, then he gets dropped back to the company right behind you, who's a week behind, getting ready to go in and snap in, and he does it all over again. Snaps in for a week, fires for a week, qualifies on that day. Once again, he'll get a chance to requalify, and if he doesn't. So I seen 2, my time down there as a drill instructor, that never ever qualified, and they were sent home. So I think whoever put that comment in there just didn't track that individual all the way. Did they finally qualify? Because while whatever you're doing the next day on recruit training, the kid that went out, he's firing again. So maybe he did qualify. I don't know. Or you never know. Things happen. Waiver for everything. Who knows? But that's it. And then throughout your time as a Marine, again, you requalify every year. And did they move it to every other year? Is that what you just brought up? And good point there, David. So you go UNC, and then you go to requal, and say you get the range high. You still only get a pizza box, marksman, the lowest, the 3rd level, because you UNC'd the first time. But you can get that expert later, right? Shoot again, shoot as many times as you can. But minimum 1 year. So again, every Marine right now is qualified with the rifle. Staff NCOs are qualified with the pistol. Officers too. At what rank? I know lieutenants and captains are qualified with the rifle. Is it major when they start shooting pistol? I think officers shoot both right off the bat. But after, because I know after gunnery sergeant, once you reach gunnery sergeant as a Marine, you don't have to qualify with the rifle anymore, but now you're qualifying with the pistol. All right. Hensley asks, why do the Marines use M4s in the field, but their silent drill team uses older rifles? Silent drill teams all for show. It's hard to drill with an M4, first of all. They're short, especially the M4s. M16A2s were good. A1s were good. But it's all for show, silent drill team. Those are M1 Garands, cooler looking, right? More drill and ceremonial. Very cool rifle. But that's all. In 2006, anyone who UNC'd did not graduate. I like it. What was the name of the platoon they got sent to? Said seeing those guys run around in their T-shirts, knowing that they could have graduated. Well, I don't remember. I don't know what they went to. Or M14s. Oh, maybe. Menachem. I'm not sure. I don't know. I know JRTCs use M1s, Garands. Excuse me. Maybe there are M14s. But it's for ceremonial reasons. They're demilled weapons. They cannot fire anymore. Put a bayonet on that baby, though. So with drill, it's ceremonial, right? It's all ceremony. It's all competition. Their spoiler alert, their blue dress uniform is made of different material. That's so they can move and spin and do all that weird stuff. Try to do that in your average set of dress blues with the leather neck on there. So their blues are a little different. Gloves, sticky, but it's crazy. And the drill itself, somebody asked me before if I ever did the silent drill team, spun the rifles and all that. As much as I love it, I like basic drill, regulation, close order drill. That's what motivates me the most. And it's the little things in drill. Swing your arms, 6 to the front, 3 to the rear. Fist tight, elbows locked out, fingers curled in joint, fingers extended in joint, whatever it is, thumb along the hand. All those things is what motivates the hell out of it, and it looks good. Man, you saw the videos. Pull up some recruit graduation, MCRD San Diego, drill. Just watch this stuff. And the guide is such a huge, important part of drill. Now, back in the day, the guide with the flag, what was that? He wasn't the guy that got the head count, and he was showing the direction. You got to imagine an 89-man platoon. We're going to fight somewhere, and you're not sure. You're the shortest, smallest guy in the back. You're not sure where to go because you can't see the squad leader up front of the platoon sergeant. You just look for that guide. That's the direction we're going, the guide on. So you see the flag. That's how important the flag is. And it gives signals and directions. We used to do the stuff where you'd wave the flag. The Army, I think, still does part of their drill. Raise it, done. Drop it down, bam. When you hear that pike hit the deck, that's drill right now. You know it's ready to begin. You remember in boot camp, those of you that went, when the drill instructor says, right, face, shh, boom, tink. You hear that guy down hit the deck, it's time to go. That is drill right there. That's everything that you need to know about drill. Again, that smallest, shortest Marine in the back, he's got to know company, halt, step, freeze, tink. The guy down hits the deck. That's how you know it's ready. We're getting ready to do something else. About, face, shh, boom, tink. The guy down hits the deck. That's drill. Right there. It's perfect. It's awesome. For the longest time, and I think they still have, when they talk about shortening boot camp or initiating something new, right? Implementing something new in boot camp, the officers, somebody wants to take hours off of drill to implement something else. Well, we can cut short drill time and we can add in these core value classes, which are important. I didn't mean it like that. Those are important too. But don't cut drill time. Drill is discipline, instant willing obedience to orders. That's what drill is. So if your platoon in boot camp sucked at drill, it's because your company, your platoon didn't have any discipline. It is the foundation of everything for the rest of your life. That's what makes Marines so intense, the discipline. And it takes discipline to have a good, solid, close order drill performance. URAH. That's why 8th NI is so good. Discipline. When my friend was fired from being guide, I just disappeared. He's getting promoted to sergeant very soon. It took a little while, but I started out as a squad leader thanks to the Poolee functions that I went to. Any Poolees out there, go to your Poolee functions and drill your eyeballs off. Eyeballs, because I just saw school circle, eyeballs, ears. Drill your butt off, because that's what got me noticed right away. Come here, you're a squad leader. Yes, sir, because I knew how to stand at attention. Feet at a 45-degree angle. Fingers curled, fists tight, elbows in, thumbs on trouser seam. All that stuff got me noticed right away, and then I became the guide. There was one time in the chow hall, though, I got fired. Embarrassed. When you're done eating chow, the guide's done, you're done. Kicked everybody out. I came in to report to the drill instructor that our platoon was done. And I marched in, I had the stick, boom, right face, dropped the stick, tink, reported, sir, platoon 3082, chow complete, whatever I was supposed to say. Get out of here, it's nasty. And I stepped off with my left foot. I had to go to the right. I stepped off with my right foot. Stepped off with my right foot. If you know, you know. All the drones, there's like 100 of them, probably 4, but it felt like 100. Get back right now, get back, are you out of your freaking mind? So I got back, he said, my drill secretary said, now go. I did it again. I stepped off with my right foot. I lost my freaking mind. I just couldn't. And of course, they freaked out. Now they're throwing trays. They're standing up. Tables are going all over. Recruits are flying all over the place. Do it again. And of course, I did it again. The same exact thing. Stepped off with my right foot. My drill instructor came around over the table, pushing people out of the way. Smokies were flying. Ripped the brassard off my arm. Grabbed the stick. Said, "Get the hell out of here." Use some foul language. And get as far away from our platoon as you can. So I go outside, all butthurt. And the platoon is like, "What's up, guys?" So I just like, "Shut your mouth, get in formation." I got in the guide spot where I knew I was supposed to be as the guide, just with no stick or no platoon brassard. Of course, as soon as my drill instructor came out, "You're out here, freaking mind you, push, thrashed the crap out of me and put me at the end of 4th Squad. So when the platoon went down and here, I had a big boob standing in the back, marching with every pouting. I was pissed.
With your right foot first.
Stepping off with my right foot first, of course. And all I could think of, man, I can't wait till the senior comes on deck because he'll save me. You know, that's Big Daddy. He won't let this happen. So we're back in the house. I don't know what we're doing. And I see the senior out the window. He's coming. I'm like, yes, this is it. As soon as he walked in, attention on deck, attention on deck. It was all loud. Oh, my drill instructor from inside the dude. "Oh, senior drill instructor, wait till you hear this. Where's your guide? Where's your guide?" He said, "Come here, guide." He ran up here and the drill instructor, "You're not the guide. Get away." I'm telling you, it was the worst day of my life. And the senior's like, "Come here, guide." So I ran up. The other drill instructor, "You're not the guide." It's fun for them, I'm sure. And he said, "Drill instructor, your guy representing you and all over base in front of God and everybody at the chow hall, your guy doesn't know to step off with the left foot first." "Oh, really, guy?" The senior played right along with it, and he thrashed the crap out of me until dark. I didn't even know what it was, late after taps or something. I just nonstop. And all I could think is, man, why did I not only do it once, twice, the third time, stepped off with my right foot. Man, so I don't know how long it lasted. And it was drill instructor Sergeant Taylor who did it. I'll never forget him because I think he just didn't like me. So that's what everyone says. He had it in for me. Learned a valuable lesson that day. The senior finally gave it back to me, earned it back, and showed him I could step off with the correct foot. But I did learn a valuable lesson. Again, I just hated Sergeant Taylor from that moment forward for not only thrashing me, but then diming me out. But realized, do you think it ever happened again? Never, but it just gave me a love for drill that just, again, little things like the pike hitting the deck. That's it, that's starting it. The boom. And I said, make that noise, that's their boots, boom. When you're marching, the C89 left arms come up straight, your tricep is tight, your fist is tight, head and eyeball straight to the front, chest out, just together, to have them doing a bow face, or to the rear all together, closing it. I mean, just all drill, all 85 movements as one. That's what teamwork does for you. That's what builds the teamwork. Instant willing obedience to orders, close order drill. Stop messing with it in boot camp. If anything, you should add more time. All right. Thanks for indulging me on that story. It's a bad day. It's a bad day for me. Big Red Farmer. How you doing? It's been a while since I've been on there. Good to see you, brother. Welcome back. How you been? How was your Thanksgiving? We did talk last week. I was on last Sunday. Getting ready for the next holidays. I don't know what that hand and arm signal means. John McJunkin says, Gibson asks, are there Marines who serve on submarine duty, like on other naval ships? So, not that I'm aware of, and if there are, we don't talk about it. It's a secret. And even the Marines that serve on ship, there's only two of them. They're combat cargo guys. Two Marines, normally, typically a warrant officer and a staff NCO. They're the only ones that actually serve on a ship, get assigned to a ship for 3 years, like a PCS duty station. All the other Marines on ship are just catching a ride. The longest Marines spend on ship is for a MU, Marine Expeditionary Unit. And they load up about 6 or 8 ships called, I don't remember what it's called right now, but they have a carrier, a mini carrier, some LPDs, a whole organization of ships that travel around and protect whatever ocean they happen to be in. East Coast or West Coast. I did a West Coast MU, and that's what we did, just floated around for 6 months. So you work up to it, you build on it, know how to get on and off ship, helicopters, landing craft, whatever it is, and you just float around and wait for something to happen. So they're not stationed on that ship, it's a deployment, called a UDP, Unit Deployment Program, where an infantry battalion gets attached to a ship. And it's a whole MAGTAF, Marine Air Ground Task Force. The Air Wing sends some guys and some pilots and some helicopters and mechanics. Infantry sends their boys, the group sends the admin side of it. So, but it's typically only for 7 months. 6 or 7, depending on where you're going. My MU, we went to Okinawa. That was our home port. It was beautiful. We spent a lot of time in Okinawa, but then just traveled around the Pacific, Guam, Philippines, Thailand, Korea, and just would hang out do some operations on land, get back on ship and go somewhere else. Interesting though, in that we did a humanitarian service. Another thing that Marines do right now, sitting in the ocean, in the Atlantic and Pacific, just waiting for something to happen, something bad or wartime or not, combat or not, doesn't matter. We went in and just assisted this horrible earthquake and tsunami that happened. We happened to be in the area, we were the closest ones. Pulled up, we had supplies, medical supplies, food, start getting stuff shipped in. We built tents, shelter, start feeding them, and it's just part of what Marines do, America's 911 era. So it was good. So we don't get stationed on ship, to answer your question. And are they on submarines? I really don't think so, unless somebody knows. Randall says for a brief time it was called a MAU, Marine Amphibious Unit, maybe. Right now it's a MU, M-E-U, Marine Expeditionary Unit. And I was fortunate enough to be on a MU SOC, S-O-C, Special Operations Capable, meaning we had some special operations that I can't tell you about. We just flew everywhere. I was the helicopter company, and we flew ship to ship. As an engineer, we built a medium girder bridge on the Fort McHenry, USS Fort McHenry. We built a 5-bay bridge. Engineers, where you at, JT? If you know, you know. 5-bay medium girder bridge. 53 came and picked it up, all right, pretty massive, flew it to a gap or a small little river. Dropped in there, first time in history. It was cool, very cool. Building on ship was crazy because the ship's rocking, and you have you gotta put these gigantic Lego blocks together and lock them in. It was fun, it was interesting, huge. LHA, LPD, LATs, those are most available for a MU, yeah. We had the Essex was ours. It was a mini carrier. It wasn't the gigantic city in the water, but it was still pretty big. Negative, never heard of Marines on a sub. I don't think so either. Subs are need to know, that's right. Could you do 7 months in a submarine underneath the ocean? You gotta be a special kind of person to spend that much time without seeing daylight. Birdman said, do any of y'all remember your first meal or fast food after boot camp? Great question, Birdman. I even did a short about that. Matthew Askren, good to see you, brother. How you been? How's everything? SMF in the building. Good to see you, brother. How's life? Still good? Everything's good? Just blink twice if you're having problems. No? All right, we'll take that. Is your wife close by? You can't say anything right now? Just kidding, buddy. How was everything? How was your Thanksgiving? Where'd you guys go? Whose house did you spend it at? Birdman said, I want the classic choice of delicious fast food burger. I did a short on that. Interesting. The first place you ate right after. Some very interesting, some PX, some right on base, some right outside base. Old Town is outside MCRD. I don't know, San Diego, I don't know about Paris Island. But that first meal, a lot of people said I ate way too much, right, the first time. Like, is there any question? Pizza, of course, is David Bryant. Matthew said, wife is right next to me enjoying the 11 wind chill. What? It's negative 11 with the wind chill? Crazy. Man, you guys better snuggle up right now. Snuggle, keep her warm. Negative 11. Man, I'm sweating over here. Wife was in Louisiana, kids are in Atlanta, and I was with my side of the family in Chicago for Thanksgiving. You better spend that together. You want to last. Good. Hope everyone had a great time. Infirm. First meal was In-N-Out. Yeah, I love me some In-N-Out. It wasn't around. It wasn't in San Diego when I graduated. I remember eating pizza at the Marine Corps Exchange at Paris Island. It's -8 where Big Red Farmer is. Birdman was the best pizza I ever had, even though it wasn't too good. Really, is pizza bad? Have you ever had bad? Some pizza's better than others, but it's still pizza. I don't even remember what my first meal was. I had family there. We went to a restaurant. We went to a restaurant right outside in Old Town, nearby. But looking forward to it. And how about those times going to Main Side when they had Visitors Day? Still have Visitors Day. The fast food. What fast food is Paris Island? Yeah. My first meal was a goonie. Not sure what that is. But that is something, definitely something to look forward to. You know how I feel about chow hall food. Love it. Yes, some are better than others. Some meals depend on what time of if they just did supply or not. They got a new shipment in. Sometimes you get the corned beef hash or and some people like that. You get the ham slices, right? Ham slices and mixed veggies. You know, you got the end of their supply, getting ready for a new shipment to come in. Always good, though. Never, ever have any complaints about chow hall food. Love it. First food after boot camp graduation, my mother brought me a Metrics bar. Yeah, sugar-free Red Bull in her purse. Awesome. That's a great meal right there. Love the Metrics bars. Not around too much. There's a billion other protein bars now. I liked Metrics and the shakes. I liked everything about Metrics back then. Mighty, mighty left foot. Bring flashbacks of that day. Stepped off 3 times. Wrong foot. Birdman, Subway, and that's pretty much it, other than some unknown name restaurants. Yeah, it is something, just like Marines in the field. When you're in the field for a couple of days, start talking about food and what you're gonna eat as soon as you get back. On deployment, you're gone months. Talk about that first meal as soon as you get back. Hooters for wings. Hooters does have the best wings. I don't care who you are, they have the best wings. In the Corps, when you order pizza and nobody wants to pitch in, but then you eat your whole pizza, you learn to order anchovies. Never had a pizza with anchovies. Had pizza with sushi on it. You ever have that? That is delicious. Never had anchovies. Probably still like it. Went to the next on Visitors Day and bought a watch. SDI got in my face that night, and that's why I thought I was better than everyone else in a platoon for having a watch. That's funny, because how you get so used to having a watch, and then to be without it for so long. In boot camp, you judge time by meals, right? As I think a lot of us are in the same. You know what time it is by what meal you're getting ready to go to. And then when the sun goes down, you can't wait for that sun to go down. But damn, it's got to come back up. Start all over. Mornings, the very worst time in boot camp for me. Are the Marines, like other armed services, cutting back on quality of living? I didn't see the rest of that, John McJunkin, but I don't think so. Quality of living there. In fact, they're improving it. Did a short on that a long time ago with Sergeant Major Ruiz talked about, I don't remember what it's called right now, but making barracks 100% better with technology and a real common area like a big kitchen and living room with full-size refrigerators, USB and USB-C ports in every room, and just making them upgraded. So I haven't heard them downgrading them in base housing. It's on a 10-year span. At one point in Hawaii, got to sit in this meeting because we had gotten back from a deployment, moved into a barracks that was condemned, but they didn't have any room for us, so they took down the condemned signs and moved us in. And then they had the opportunity to sit in on a board on the barracks improvement and housing improvement, and it's on some sort of 10-year basis. So for 10 years, they work on barracks throughout the Marine Corps. And in those 10 years, the housing starts to deteriorate, and that's when they switch over. Now they work on housing for the next 10 years, and in those 10 years, the barracks. So it's a rotation. I've been in some very nice barracks, and I've been in some very poor barracks, especially for the infantry, because you're coming and going so much. You don't have a home. Depends on what side. I think Camp Lejeune, they have a bigger area, more room. I don't know what it is. Hawaii, we hot racked every time we came back from a deployment. And my battalion was always spread out. We were like in 9 barracks at one time. Put a platoon over there and a squad over here in Mboko. It was horrible. Quonset huts, David Bryant, old school. I saw barracks being built at Camp Lejeune. Again, I think depends on what time of that 10-year span that they're on. An infantry marine station at Wallace Creek in Lejeune has an Air Force level barracks. And even in Hawaii, they built some Navy style, which is still good. Right, those 3-story ones.
What's it called when you're not allowed to be in the barracks? How they said it was off limits because it wasn't inhabitable, and then they put the.
It was condemned.
Okay.
Yeah, they just told that story that we moved back, and I only knew this barracks was condemned because when I was in the air wing, they were getting mold and stuff, and the Marines were like, "Sorry, Major, we got to get out of this barracks." And I did. The base came by and they inspected. Said, "Holy cow, there's mold in here. Get your Marines out of here." And they put us in these new barracks. The air wing was great, and we had a small squadron, so it was kind of easy. And then I went to the infantry, went to 3-3, went on deployment. We came back from deployment, and again, trying to find places for everyone to live. And that was one of the barracks. That was a year later, they were tearing down the signs that said condemned, and the police tape. They just told, "Oh, here you go, right here. We're saving this barracks just for you. Congratulations. Wear your mask." Terrible. Informant says, "My first barracks at Camp Horno had no air and only metal heaters in the squad base." So there are still some bad ones out there. Lejeune, I think in one of the engineer schools I went to, I think it was basic engineer school. It was in the winter, and it was so cold we would sleep about 6 of us in one barracks just for body heat because there was no heat in there, and it was in the middle of winter until it warmed up. Luckily, we were there for like 4 months, finally warmed up. But it happens. Again, people complain about the barracks all the time. Again, if Marine's not complaining, something's wrong. But I think they're doing their best. That was in 2007. Here it's all new now. So again, I think they do their best, right, to make living conditions the best. I have stayed in Air Force barracks, and they are beautiful dormitories. They each have their own carpet. They have carpet. In fact, one of the funny stories about that school is their command master sergeant, right, the E9 of the Air Force, in charge of the school, toured myself and my sergeant major. I was a staff sergeant. He was showing us their facilities because I was going to go there to be a student. And he came to ours first. The chief master sergeant of the Air Force Academy came to our academy, and he checked out the barracks. He checked out the classroom, and I remember he walked into our classroom. He's like, "Wow, your decks are really shiny. What company do you use to clean your barracks, to clean your classrooms. And we both kind of giggled. The company we use is called Students. They clean the barracks, they buff the decks, they mop and glow everything. He's like, wow, no way. How do they find time to do that in between academics and PT and all that? That's how it's done. Then we went to the barracks, same thing. There's no carpet. You have no carpet in your barracks? Like, no, how are they going to get that buff shine? How are they going to play on the buffer and spin around and hurt each other? So then we toured his facility, and it was spotless. It was beautiful, carpet, wall to wall. It was amazing. And we made mention of the carpet. Wow, this is very nice carpet. You guys are lucky. Sound is better, and all you gotta do is vacuum it. He's like, oh, yeah, they come and vacuum, I think twice a day. But he said, this is old. We're getting ready to replace it all. And me and the sergeant major are like, oh my gosh, what are you gonna do with it? He's like, I don't know. They dump it somewhere. We'll take it. We'll take it. Whatever you're gonna do with it. It doesn't look that old, does. How old is this? He's like, oh, it's 3 years old. This carpet is old. 3 years old. It was beautiful. We took it. We're like, what else are you getting rid of? He's like, well, all these chairs, and they were beautiful desk chairs, like gaming chairs that they used at their desks. He's like, well, we're replacing all those chairs. Those are almost 3 years old too. We'll take them all. And he said, look, we don't even have to ask you about anything. Whatever you're getting rid of, we'll take it. And the sergeant major got on the phone. He's like, hey, give me some 7 tons up here, and about 20 Marines, we're gonna load whatever they don't want. And we did. We cleaned house. They got all brand new stuff. We got their used stuff. Lecterns, monitors, desk chairs, and of course, all their carpet. It was amazing. Just the difference in it. You clean your own floors? That he was amazed by that we didn't have a cleaning service in there. Their community room, their common area, you know how Marines are. There's usually a pool table with some ripped felt and some broken sticks, about 7 balls. You play pool anyway. These guys had 2, and this was back when VHSs were, they had thousands of VHS tapes and 2 big screens, and big, gigantic big screens, stand-up refrigerators, stoves, cabinets, couches, just amazing. And one of the first meetings, about 3 or 4 days into school, the commandant of the school came out and talked. There's about 140 sailors in there and me. I mean, airmen, sorry. And he's like, all right, how's everything going? You guys doing great? We love it here. Any comments about it? Any problems, any issues with anything going on? And 4 or 5 of them stood up and said, you know, can we get in the common area something different than fresh fruit every morning, something different than a bowl of candy that the cleaning ladies leave out? They were complaining about the stuff that they were getting every day, replenished daily. And when you have them clean, can they come after the lights are out because we're watching movies? It's unbelievable. But the bad thing is, if the Marines had that, they would destroy it. Steal all the movies. I only have a VHS player, but they take them anyway. All right. That's how it goes, though. Lots of hand-me-downs in the Corps. That's a fact, right? We get something new, it's usually hand-me-downed from the Army. Weapons, vehicles. And we make do. Do the most with the least. It was good times. So, back to every Marine and Rifleman. First to fight. How about that one? I did something on that again a while ago, short, first to fight, and I had some haters on it. You're not the first to fight. I'm still team 24, and we go first. So there's special operations that definitely do go first. But as an organization, Marines are first to fight. We go with the ready to move in and destroy things, and then everybody will show up and start building camps and Starbucks and coffee beans and McDonald's. But the Marines are first to fight. Same concept. It's not just something that we say that's how our forces are designed. Marines are first to fight. We had a lot of bootleg DVDs from the Sandbox. Yes, those are the best. I have tons of those still. Would buy them, all the Disney movies for my kids and bring it back. And half would work, half wouldn't. I think we still have them all, though. I need to get rid of those. VHS and DVDs. That was DVDs after a while. Yeah. pretty funny watching them. Sometimes you can see the guy holding the camera and the camera's moving and somebody will walk in front of him, but you got first time viewed, right, before it came out in theaters type of movies. Now with today's technology, you don't even have to wait. Good times. So we talked about it. Every Marine a rifleman, recruiters lie. The seasons are upon us. We talked about it a little bit last week. Those of you that were here on Sunday, everyone's Thanksgiving, how great it was. Ours was bittersweet. I didn't share all of it with you because we wanted to hear from you. We did, our daughter, Kimi Cocoa Puffs, did lose her German Shepherd during that time. So again, when I say bittersweet, everything was amazing about Thanksgiving except that. Our whole entire family was together in her apartment, 1-bedroom apartment, which is perfect size for us because we always end up in the same room anyway. And us being there, I want to believe, and God willing, it made it easier for her to deal with the loss of her dog because it kept her distracted, right? And we still ended up having a great time. But made me just think that as great as holidays are, they're not always great for everyone. Some have bad memories, and I hope this doesn't affect her Thanksgivings from now. I remember last year, I remember 2 years ago. Hopefully it doesn't, but things do trigger the best in us and sometimes the worst in us. So just keep that in mind as you're celebrating and enjoying life and everything is great. Your families are together and everything is perfect. Thank God, first and foremost, but then also pray to God for those who aren't having such a good holiday. It brings back bad memories. It could be from deployment. Military spends a lot of holidays in country, in combat, away from their family. So those, reach out. This more and more reason for the buddy checks. Make the buddy checks happen. Just check on someone. You send the Merry Christmas to each other. You send the memes. You send Santa, a Marine dressed as Santa, the motivation ones. I always send Thanksgiving. I always send the same ones of a bunch of Marines in combat sitting around a fire pit with some kind of animal on the fire grill, and says, think about those guys who are not only not with their family, but they're in harm's way, still celebrating the holidays. So just keep those in mind. These are good times, but they can be some bad times or tough times. So remember, everyone, keep everyone in mind. When we pray before we eat, we always remember to pray for the troops who aren't home with their families, who are in harm's way. And there's military in harm's way 24/7. Don't talk about it on the media. Don't talk about them all the time. Some we don't even know about. But there is service members in harm's way every single day of the year, 24/7. So keep them in your mind during these times. Shoot them a prayer. God bless them and keep them safe and home back with their family soon. Grooming standards will not change. How do we get on grooming standards? Sniper Freak. You want to pray? Hopefully it doesn't. It's me. I'm officially an airman in the Civil Air Patrol, CAP. Airman in the CAP. Congratulations. I knew some CAP kids growing up when I was in JROTC. Seemed pretty squared away. Here's what I remember. When they raised their hand, they always did like this. Their fist was always closed. I don't know why that rings a bell. But you drill, you wear uniforms. It's a cool program. I don't know enough about it, but congratulations. Get after it. I'm telling you, if you could do any sort of military training prior to the military, or just prior to life, man, it teaches you responsibility, discipline. It teaches you all the things you need to know to be a responsible young man or woman. And all of them, young Marines, Civil Air Patrol, Young Marines, what's the other one? Of course, JROTC. Any of those programs you can join as a teenager, do it. Go for it. That's it. Congrats. Do good things, right? Make the very, very best of it. Also helps, it does help when you do join a service, right? I don't know if Civil Air Patrol does, but JRTC, you serve 2 years, 2 successful years of JRTC, you can go to any of the boot camps already promoted to an E2. And everyone except the Marines, if you do 3 years, I think the Army and Air Force do for sure. You go to boot camp as an E3. So there's definite benefits to not just all the knowledge that you learn, but you start out your career ahead of everyone else. David Bryant, I'm with you, brother. They need to make it a 0 to 1 standard. I've been saying that for 35 years. 0 to 1 should be the male regulation haircut, 0 to 1. 0 to 3 looks pretty stupid, depending on what kind of hair you have. If you were to do that 0 to actually 3 inches, that's like this tall. That looks ridiculous and completely besides the point. 0 to 1, that's a good haircut. When does a good Marine need a haircut? Never, because he always has one. Yes, thanks, Salty. Skylar, good to see you back. How'd you get on the grooming standards? I like it though. Told you 2 things: uniform regulation I would change, and the grooming standards. The grooming standard would be just that, 0 to 1, and females should have never went to the relaxed grooming standards. I'm not sure what it's called, but it should still be a tight bun, every day, all day, 100%. Looks sharp, and so does the 0 to 1. And the other one is the undershirt. Man, it still bothers me to this day. The undershirt under your Charlie uniform. White t-shirt, it's part of your uniform. It's an undershirt for a reason. You wear it under your shirt to protect your shirt so it doesn't get all nasty. If you're a sweater, you don't have the big sweat rings. You can wear your Charlie shirt more than once or twice, 3 times. If you wear an undershirt, it looks terrible. Has nothing. It's a cool guy factor. Throw the hate, throw the shade if you want, but it's unprofessional. It's part of the uniform. It looks good when that t-shirt is nice, white, and clean and high up on your neck. Bam, it kind of pops out. It's part of the uniform. And it seems to happen at certain ranks. Certain Marines like to do it, and it's to be cool. Same with your camis. Those that don't wear the green t-shirt underneath your camis. Yes, it's optional. Both of them are optional. So if you do it, you do it. It's authorized. But what purpose does that serve, especially if you're a unit that always out and about, you're working, you're training, you're PTing. You can't take your blouse off to PT because you don't have an undershirt on. Makes no sense. And it keeps your uniform a little bit cleaner for that much longer. That's what undergarments are for. So use it for its intended purpose. That's something I would have switched. Constant switching from standard to crew neck to V-neck. So in boot camp, I got issued V-neck, and then during boot camp, we went to crew neck. So I got issued the V-neck, but never wore it. We went right to V-neck, or crew neck. Got issued V-neck, then we got issued crew neck. Crew neck looks good. Matthew Askren, have a blessed night. See you guys next time. See you, brother. Thanks for stopping by. Stay warm. Do your best. Keeps the salt from showing. David Bryant. David gets it. It prolongs the life of your uniform. And it really does help with uniformity. There's nothing worse than seeing a platoon of Marines in Charlies looking sharp and one individual with no white t-shirt on. Same in camis. Makes no sense. All right. God has a you-know-what for Marines because we kill everything in sight. Love that line. Great movie. It's awesome. Some moto movies. I still don't know which one my favorite is. Yes, I do. Few Good Men or Full Metal Jacket? Let's take the poll right now. Full Metal Jacket, Gunner Sergeant Hartman, or A Few Good Men, or others. Taking Chance, right? That's a great one that not a lot of people see, didn't get a lot of hoopla. Jarhead, not a lot of people like that. Who can wear OD green undergarment? We were only allowed white. David Bryant, old school, brother. You and Gomer Pyle are the only ones who could wear white. We have green now. You and Chesty, or the white undershirt. White and camis would look pretty cool, actually. Old Gyrene, good to see you, brother. That t-shirt looks very 9th Marines. Were you with the Striking 9? I was not. This was a design from the producer, your very own. The producer made that, designed it. Made it. I was never with 9th Marines, though. The Walking Dead. We're at 1-9? 1-9, yeah. Nope, she made this out of nowhere. Carl T plays his game, we play ours. God was here before the core, so you can give your heart to Jesus. But your butt belongs to the core. Full Metal Jacket, then the DI. The DI is an awesome movie. Old Gyrene, hard to find. So if anyone has a copy of it, I would love to get it. The DI is a great movie. It's not on Netflix or anything right now. Full Metal Jacket, then the DI, Full Metal Jacket. Old Gyrene, good to see you, brother. What other Marine movies? There's The Sands of Iwo Jima. Sands of Iwo Jima. That's a good classic. What's the other one like The Sands of Iwo Jima? Man, that one where he says, "You're the best daughter I've ever had." What was that one? God, maybe someone will bring it up. But good military movies, good Marine movies. Jarhead, I talk about quite a bit because it wasn't a cinematic genius full of action and one of those. It wasn't full of a bunch of crap. Is really wasn't what it wasn't full of. The Pacific is a great series. Jarhead was accurate and a little boring at times, but so was Desert Storm. It was pretty accurate how they depicted it. That's why people didn't like it, because it wasn't full of action and kind of some Hollywood dramatics in there mixed into it. But it was good. Heartbreak Ridge was a great one. Loved Heartbreak Ridge. Siege of Fireblaze Gloria. I don't. Man, I gotta watch that one again. Hamburger Hill, was that Army? I remember that being a great movie, though, Hamburger Hill. We said the commandant giveth and the battalion commander taketh away. It happens. The Great Santini, that's the one I was thinking of. Thank you, Randall. That was, I swear to Brigadier General, you're the sweetest little girl. Yes. Swear to, yeah. The Great Santini, tough. Man, that dude was tough. Tough to imagine growing up with that dad. Great movies. All good military movies. You see Mad Dog Mattis. I think he wants me to land this helicopter soon. Last thing I want to talk about, though, is complacency. I write it down probably every time. It's something that happens. And I talked to an old battalion commander of ours, and we moved on that subject. When I took over in 3-3, actually, no, even before that, when I was with 2-5 and we did some work with 3-3 in Fallujah. I remember visiting their battalion headquarters, and then we went out to the post. It was myself and the company commander. It was the first sergeant, company commander, and I went out, checked out the post that we were going to. I said they had a huge battle, AO, area of operation, and it was getting pretty hot. So they sent us a company from 2-5 to just assist. But I remember going to all of most of their positions, and they had spray painted complacency kills right on the sandbags, on the bunkers, in the COC. Some was written small, some was gigantic, complacency kills across everywhere. And that's what their key focus was on. And complacency literally does kill. You walk down you patrol an area, the streets, a couple houses, a couple farms, little meat market, some little kids that give you bread. You go the next day, same exact thing. And the first time you go through, you're at the ready. finger straight off the trigger, but you're ready to put that baby in there and have action. Nothing happens. And it's a rotation. You go there 3 days later, 2 days later, you mix it up a little bit so you're not doing the same. Go a little different route. But when you leave, you go the same. You go the same route every time, weeks. Somebody's watching you. So next time you start looking forward to going to that route, because there's always little kids, you give them stuffed animals and they say hi, you take a picture with them. It's great. It's a great way to start your patrol. But you went from the ready to now your weapon's down. And you got some candy you're gonna give out. You're not even holding your weapon anymore because you got complacent. It's a safe area. This place is easy. The people love us. Nothing's gonna happen here. It's that 48th time you go through that area and get blown up. You get attacked, you get hit, you get surrounded because you got complacent. So complacency literally kills in combat. In the civilian sector, complacency also kills. It kills morale, welfare, discipline, productivity, kills your employees, kills your unit, kills your business because of doing the same thing, comfortable. This is how we've always done it. How about that horrible statement? Why are you doing it like this? You're wasting 45 sheets of paper when it can be on one. Something as simple as that. You're over budget because you spent too much money on paper because you're printing stuff off that doesn't need to be because that's how you've always done it. So complacency is huge and it's hard to watch, especially when you see it happen. You recognize it, you bring it up the chain of command, and still nothing changes. You still get the same answer. That's how we've always done it. We've done this for 30 years the same way. Well, you've been doing it wrong for 20 years. That's why people are leaving. That's why attrition is high. That's why you're over budget. That's why you're all these things boil right back down to what are we doing that we could be doing better? What are we not doing that we should be doing? There's those three main questions that you should ask yourself or your chain of command every single day. In fact, your chain of command should be asking you every day. You're in the trenches, you're in the offices, you're in the on the ground running, kicking it with you're making it happen, you're in the motor pool, wherever you are, you're making it happen. What are we doing we could be doing better? What are we doing that we shouldn't be doing? How can we improve 1% better every day? What could we be doing that would make this place better? Retention would be higher, morale would be higher. Mission accomplishment would be number one because you've already taken care of the troops. Mission accomplishment, troop welfare. You do them together, success. And not everyone has that. Not one person has all the answers, but collectively you could, right? Told you a story about the PFC. All these trucks couldn't get under the bridge. The bridge was too low for all our MRAPs and our big, huge vehicles to get under. We talked about blowing up the bridge. No, we might need it later. What about we dig the road out? Nah, it'll take forever. All these things when the Lance Corporal said, how about you let some air out of the tire, vehicles, and then we go through. Get back on the side, pump them back up. Something as simple as that. Save time, effort, money, lives. You have to act on the recognition of complacency. After action reports, we talk about those all the time. One, have your people do it. And when they do spend the time and effort into an after action, read it, entertain it, discuss it. Man, this guy's bitching about the same thing over and over every day. I wish he would just stop. Or maybe we should read this and see if there's something there, something that he or she observed from their position in this organization, something that we overlook. We say, never forget where you came from. That's something so easy to say, and a lot of people say it. Never forget where you come from. But it's hard to. It's hard to forget. No, it's hard to remember where you came from as a Lance Corporal. I told a story a while ago, playing football, and this kid, he said, I'm not gonna make it to the game today. I got duty. It's like, duty? Just tell him you can't stand it. He said, you can't be there. You have a football game, you're not gonna be at duty today, switch with somebody else. It's not that easy for a Lance Corporal. A duty in the barracks that's been assigned on a Saturday. As a step into, I'm like, forget that. You're going to have somebody else do it. It just blew my mind that he couldn't just take himself off duty. So little things like that, you have to remember what it's like as a lance corporal. You have to remember what it's like as the platoon sergeant, and now I'm a sergeant major. You got to remember those. Why is your whole platoon, why were they late for PT this morning? You what are you doing down there? Well, sometimes it's hard as a platoon sergeant. You know, somebody had a flat tire, somebody else went to go pick him up, and then he got a flat tire. Things happen. So discuss, communicate, transparency is key. All of these things come back to complacency. You get complacent, you get fat and happy in your office, and so how are we going to do it next year? Same we did it last year. Well, your company's going down. Morale, discipline, motivation, productivity, everything's going down. Something's got to change. And no, not one person has the answer, but collectively, you possibly could. So check it out. Don't get complacent. It's not easy. You got to fight it. Unless things already are improving. Right? Look at the numbers. At the end of the day, look at the numbers. If you can go to bed at night sleeping, yep, today was a good day. Everything worked out smoothly. There wasn't a problem anywhere in any department. Congratulations if that does happen. But if you had one complaint, if you had one discussion, one unhappy employee, maybe he or she is onto something, especially if that employee's been there for a while, like just a couple years, and has seen zero productivity, zero improvement. Check it out. All right. A leader is only as good as those who will follow them. Otherwise, they're not leading, just going at it alone. The Lino, leader in name only, that happens a lot too. I've made it to the top. Now I can coast. Nope. You make it to the top, you're working twice as hard as you were to get to the top. Now it's your responsibility to take care of everyone underneath you. Completely different story. Now you're working harder. It's not time to chill. LSD, told you about that. Don't get hooked on the LSD, that large steel desks. I know we don't have steel desks anymore, but that was the saying back then. Don't get stuck behind that desk. Don't lead by text. Don't lead by emails. Did you get my email? Maybe you go out and see those guys. Well, walk through their workspace, the motor pool, their office space, or whatever they do. Find out what they do. Don't make decisions for them when you've never even been in there. Spend some time with them. In fact, do their job. The undercover boss thing, amazing. How genius was that? Whoever thought of that? Do their job. Walk in their shoes for a little bit before you make a decision that's going to impact them 100% and not impact you at all. This is what I want to have happen, and this is how I want you to do it. You don't know what it's like. Get down. Even if you did do it 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago, things change. Time changes. People change. Technology changes. Everything changes. You have to stay current, and that's on you as a leader. So that other story where I was at the Staff Academy for 3 years as an instructor. I came back to the infantry, got my rifle issued with the ACOG and the RCO, which was new to me. I knew nothing about it. And instead of trying to fake the funk, and I'm a gunner sergeant, I can't let the young Marines know that I don't know what this is, but as soon as I was at the window, the armory, the armory, you got to be clean when you turn it back in. He gave me both of them at the same time, RCO and a PEC 3, PEC 2, PEC 3. I didn't know which was which. He said, okay, go ahead and read me off the serial number for the RCO. And I was looking at both, and Marines were all in line behind me. I was like, I picked one up and I turned it a few times. Luckily, it was the RCO, but I didn't know where the where the serial number was. And finally, I said, you know what, bro, give me a minute. Hey, give me a Marine over here. I need some help. Which one is the RCO? Where's the serial number? And then once I square this away, can you show me how to attach it to it? I had to swallow my ego a little bit. How does the gunny not know about this stuff? I'm gonna fake the funk, not just pretend, take this all back to car and try and figure it out. So it takes a bigger man to one, admit that you don't know everything. You don't have to make all the calls, especially when you don't know what you're talking about. Ask the question, get the feedback, and be transparent about all of it. I could have easily taken that stuff and found another gunny. Hey, guns, brother, show me how to do this. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of the Marines. But I didn't feel embarrassed whatsoever. It probably made the Marine feel great. Man, I got to help the gunny. He didn't know what he was doing. Now he's locked on. I did have him help me sight in, use the RCO with the little arrow. I was like, man, this is money. This kid knows it. He does it. He does it every day. My first time. Don't be afraid. You become a better person when you swallow your ego. Salty. Nailed it. No sane person would dock the gunny. True, right? A little RHIP rank has its privileges. Come here, Marine. Show me how to use this. But it was a win-win situation. The Marine felt great to be able to help the gunny. Could have screwed me over. Could have told me totally backwards. That's not your RCO, guns. What's the matter with you? All right, producers, killing it. Custom Metal Works, veteran owned. ANC Metal Works, boom. That's that flag behind us right there. American flag metal. Mike's gonna come here one day and whoop my butt because I don't have that light shining on it when I'm on production, but it looks awesome in the light. What's in the shadow box? What shadow box? See a shadow box back there? Is that the framed Texas thing you might be thinking of? Support your local veteran-owned businesses, 100%, absolutely. And it looks like the producer is putting some up, but yes, 100%. Right there, Matthew Askren's delicious bacon wrapped chicken, amazing. Truly was amazing. Need to order some more. Can you order some more? That was amazing. We sampled it. She teased us on screen, baked it, and we actually showed. I don't remember what episode that was, but it was delicious. I wanted to eat the whole thing. Look at that, late cookie. The EGA will be finished soon. I got to make room for it. Maybe I'll raise the flag up and put it underneath the flag back there. TV's on that side. You're going to see it. Can't wait. Awesome. Support your local owned businesses. Veteran owned local businesses, small veteran owned. There are a couple different organizations that they're called, but veteran owned businesses. We try to anytime we possibly can. Can we get the website for the chicken? It's right up there. Check it out. Scroll down, pull down a little bit. David, that was the best chicken. Bacon wrapped stuffed chicken. I mean, come on. It's got everything. And it was amazing. Came in a cooler, still frozen. Everything was perfect. You should have other vets from other branches on. That's in the works too. Hammerhead. That's what we really are trying to. We will. We'll be there one day. All right, John McJones. There are times even now with my company, I still ask for assistance or ask advice. No shame in it. No shame in asking questions if you don't know. The shame comes if you fail due to not asking. Amen. John McJunkin. Unreal. It blows my mind to watch it happen day in and day out. How can you make a decision and put it out there for everyone to implement when it's just not gonna work? But you don't know that because you don't ask the question. Hey, everybody, here's what I was thinking. I had this idea while I was vacuuming my car the other day, and sounds good, and maybe even good intentions, maybe, or just want to make a decision. But the ones who are implementing it, no, that's not going to work because the timeline actually, you forgot we have to do that. Oh, I didn't even know you did that at the same day. Wow, that's not, you're right, that's not going to work at all. How can we implement this? Pretty amazing question. If not on this day, in this time, in this fashion, how could we? Or would it even help productivity? Would it help morale? Would it help the end game, the mission? Ask the question and just ask. Oh my gosh. Not hard. Not HOTLINE. Stickers, big green monsters. We still got big green monsters and stickers. What is it? SFMF-merch.myshopify.com. You know you want a green monster. Wait, remember those? Come on. Design it, put your name on it, put your rank insignia sticker on it, cut a little slit, put the pen in there. I never did that. I don't know why. Perfect, green monster. Stickers, you see them on my cup. You see the newest one. Love that one. My favorite's on the cup. You see it? I know. Oh, it's on my other cup. Boom. That's one I got on my truck. More to come. Seasons are coming up. Gifts, right? This shirt, the SMF old school ones, hoodies. Get after it. SFMF-merch.myshopify.com. Great gift ideas. McJunkin says, that's why I took the time to treat my major hand surgery. That's why I took time to treat my major hand surgery. Even I had to be sedated and didn't get a lollipop like the other 3 patients. They probably put some duct tape over your mouth. Got my green monster right now. Use it for note-taking at work. Graced by SFMF stickers. Awesome, old Gyrene. I'm telling you, my wardrobe might be a lot of SFMF gear. And stickers. I might have tagged a few things. I might have accidentally put a sticker here or there. Just showing support. How about this one? Getting ready to stop. Boom. No military age males coming in this country. For what reason? Sergeant Major, it was very bad hangnail on my left pinky. You have a right pinky, right? I had 10 fingers. Actually, 8 fingers and 2 thumbs. You can do without one. Flutter kicks. I guess we can skip the burpees and the mountain climbers for now while you have that hangnail. Flutter kicks. Till I get tired. All right. So, again. Oh, wait. Let me show you this last one. I like this one, too.
6-pack.
6-pack. Like some of you used to have. 6-pack. Like this one. Little ones. I guess I have to purchase one from the producer. I want to put one on my new keychain. One of these small ones on my key fob. SFMF-merch.myshopify.com. Again, another great night. It is a Wednesday. We will be on Sunday. We're getting back into that battle rhythm. Sunday, every other Wednesday. Sunday, every other Wednesday. This is Wednesday, so we'll see y'all on Sunday. So, Major, it was very bad hanging out on my left pinky. Pinky or pinky toe? No longer 6-pack. I got a case. I'm with you, old Gyrene. The 6-pack was cool. It was fun, but case is much better. Hard case. Where's the window sticker?
Cookie keeping me accountable.
Yes, producer. He said, where's the window liquor?
Okay, well, as soon as you clean your truck, you can put the sticker on, you can take a picture of it.
Okay, see, it's my fault. Late Cookie, you know how it is. She says, as soon as I clean my truck and clean the window, she'll make the sticker, and we'll put it on, take a picture, and show everybody. So once again, yes, dear, I'll clean my truck. She turns it around. My fault. Pinky finger. McJunkin, flutter kicks. You don't use your pinky finger for flutter kicks. Gary Moore, simplify and have a great week. You too, brother. Absolutely. Always a pleasure to have you on. We will see you Sunday. We're on Sunday, 1800. CST, 1800 Sunday. Never mind that truck burn out. Oh, man. Lay Cookie, prayers up for Lay Cookie and his truck. It burnt up this weekend. Bad. Ford. Maybe you should try Chevy. We had 2 friends, both lost their trucks this weekend. Big, Ford big trucks. Beautiful. They look great. My Chevy's still kicking. 88,000 miles, 6 years old.
8,000?
88.
Oh.
88,000. Coming up to 100,000 miles on it. Still going strong. Yes, I had some problems in the beginning. I swore off Chevy for a little while, but it's been hanging tough. Madam Producer even has my sympathy for my suffering. She does not. That's not real. She has no empathy for your pinky finger. All right, 75 Sergeant Major Producer Marines and everyone. Randall Knapp. We'll see you Sunday. John, 100 push-ups like Rocky. There you go. Or one-handed push-ups. Get after it, right? Rocky can do it. All right. Thanks, Randall. Even Mattis feels sad. My pinky. Mattis, I think he's laughing at you. 2002 Dodge Cummins in at 212,000 miles, still going strong. No rust. Big winner. GMC. Dodge. Never had a Dodge. Looking at the GMCs, he's been on here before. Big O went from Ford to GMC. Beautiful truck. Tell my buddy, I'm telling you, 2 Fords. Both engines blew up. One literally blew up. Lay cookies. I'm talking fire blew up. Kind. Side throttle hops. There you go. Hot rod. You can do side throttle hops. That doesn't affect your pinky. We hear you. Everyone hears you, Mattis. Bad dog. He's ready to go out. All right. I'm going to land this helicopter. 92 Silverado. Still going strong. That's what I have, a Silverado. 2. The other one has over 100,000, 200,000 miles on it. All right. Everyone. Have a blessed rest of your week. We will see you on Sunday. Be safe. Be aggressive. Complacency kills. Get after it. No days off in the gym. Continue to work. Continue to push. And we will definitely see you on Sunday. God bless you all. Semper Fi, my friends. Era.